Jones Dairy Farm is a seventh-generation family-owned and operated company located in Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. For more than 135 years, Jones has been using real, natural ingredients, original recipes, and time-honored traditions to create distinctive and timeless products. Jones is known for producing premium, all-natural breakfast sausage, naturally smoked hams and Canadian bacon, all-natural meatballs, and dry-aged bacon. All certified gluten-free. Est-ce que tu aimes le français? Do you love French? Do you want to learn French? Well, the Alliance Française of Milwaukee has been connecting folks through French language classes, francophone events, and travel for over 100 years. They're enrolling for their winter session, which runs January 6th through March 24th, 2025. So register now at afmilwaukee.org. Most of their classes are available on Zoom, including group classes for adults and private lessons tailor-made to your needs and goals. And there's a special offer for total beginners. French 101 is only $275. That's $100 off their regular price. Register before January 2nd to also take advantage of their early bird discount of $30 adult group courses. À tout à l'heure. Today on CityCast Madison. We're looking ahead. 2024 has been quite the year, with bright shining spots, but also some challenging, even dark moments we've faced as a community. As this year comes to a close, we're thinking about what's possible in the next one. We asked you what resolutions you have for the city of Madison for 2025, and also posed the question to some of our city and community leaders. Y'all delivered. Without further ado, me and our executive producer, Hayley Sperling, bring you your hopes for the new year. It's Wednesday, December 18th. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Hear ye, hear ye. The new year is on its way. I love the new year so much. Fresh starts, shake it off energy. Everything is possible. And in Madison, we're both a city of doers and dreamers. How about you, Hayley? How does the new year sit for you?
I love the new year. I love an opportunity for a fresh start. I think there's something just very satisfying about, wrapping something up and rolling right into something new. And I'm excited for 2025. I think we know it's going to be a big year. And I'm excited about what's to come. And I hope other people are too. There's a lot of bright spots out there.
There's a lot of bright spots. And, we asked y'all, because we want to talk resolutions. We asked you for your resolutions for yourself in the city of Madison, and you came through. So thank you. We asked your thoughts, and we also asked friends of the pod, and AKA past guests, for the resolutions. And we got in so much goodness and beautiful, thoughtful reses. So let's get into it. We're starting with community and personal goals. And then you're going to hear wishes for city growth, and then some political hopes for Madison and everything in between. But that's kind of the order we're going in. I'm really stoked. So let's dive in. We're going to start out with a resolution that many of us can relate to. I certainly can. Couldn't have written one better for myself. This is a personal one that's coming from a community leader, a local storyteller, a National Geographic explorer, an outdoorsman. You might know him as the founder of the Joy Trip Project. He organizes hikes around Madison, and he's just wonderful. This is James Edward Mills.
In 2025, I resolved to forgive my imperfections. Sure, I aspire to excellence like everybody else, but I understand that sometimes my very best is more than's necessary. To be good with dedication, consistency, and integrity is usually good enough. I will excel, but not to excess, and I'll forgive myself if I am less than perfect.
Just gorgeous. I was like, thank you, James. So well said.
That was amazing. And that's such a strong one to kick off on. I'm feeling empowered already. Our next clip comes from Miss Sabrina Madison, who is one of our go-to alders for the podcast. You might remember her. She represents District 17 over by the Easttown Mall area. And she's been on the podcast a couple of times, most recently talking about the need for the forthcoming Imagination Center over on the northeast side of Madison. So let's hear what she's got to say.
My New Year resolution for Madison for 2025 is pretty simple, I think. I just want us to be back in community with each other. I want us to spend more time offline and in person with one another. I want us to find joy just in being with each other again. I think for a lot of us, our local and our national politics have been very hard. In some respects, it's, kind of been traumatic too. And so I am, hoping to just be in community with more folks who I'm just happy to be around. So spending more time with my family, spending more time with people I work with and build community with around the city. And I'm just hoping that for you all too listening, I just want us to be in community with each other more often and be in community from a space of just genuinely wanting to connect with each other, being authentic with each other, and just pouring into each other. So at the end of the day, I wanted to be in community more with each other because we all got so much love to pour into each other. And that's what I think we should be doing for 2025. Just getting back to community. Peace.
Love, 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 love. It's so real. And I love the outcome for the Imagination Center at Rhinedale Park. We ended up, the city passed the referendum. So good news for that center and the future there. While we're on the north side, she's east side, but northeast side, we want to hear from one of our past producers who you may well know and love, Phil Circus. He's got a really similar sort of wish for 2025 to Alder Madison. Phil Circus is our resident Northside whisperer, and he did leave us for his heart, and who can blame him, to work on long form art and some more like political justice podcasting work. But he's still here in Madison, but he is producing some really great shows. One, America, Who Hurt You? Another, The Fascism Barometer. And he's got a third project on the way next spring called Spirit and Liberation, which is about the intersection of spirituality and healing justice. So he's as Madison as they come. Here is our buddy Phil Circus's resolution.
What do I wish for in Madison in 2025? I wish that Madisonians all engage with people they know outside of our bubble here. Have a conversation with someone who may not realize that our rights and freedoms will likely change soon. Let's take care of each other and keep the government accountable. What else? I kind of also wish for bike paths on the north side. And finally, I also wish that Curter burgers were available for 8 weeks out of the year instead of 2. I'm kidding. I've never been to Culver's, but I think that's going to happen in 2025.
We want that for you, Phil. We want that for you. And we want that for us. Curter burgers all year.
I love it. I'm obsessed. We miss you, Phil. It's so good to hear your voice. I love how Madison pilled he is now, asking for Culvers and bike paths. We've officially got him, guys. Another true Madisonian that we have heard from for our resolutions is Colleen Hayes. She has worn so many hats around town. She is a longtime friend of the Goodman Community Center and has worked in several Madison area schools. She's currently, among many community leadership roles, the pedestrian bicycle outreach specialist for the city of Madison. She's serving on the boards of the Wilmar Neighborhood Center and Bikes for Kids Wisconsin. So she is a woman all about town. Let's hear what she has to say.
My wish and resolution for Madison is that we as a community have more conversation, that we ask more questions of our neighbors, our friends, maybe even our frenemies, and that we listen for understanding and for learning. I feel like the added bonus is that we have the opportunity to learn new things and maybe even do new things. There's lots of really interesting, unique folks here in Madison. But I think having more conversation and talking to people directly instead of assuming and learning things off of social media will make us better as a community. So that is my hope, my resolution for Madison. Happy 2025.
So well said, Colleen. What a gem. I mean, honestly, we cannot get enough of Colleen, and I could not double tap that any harder. And funny enough, we spoke with Cap Times journalists Ruthie Hauge and Erin McRory about just that, about community and even community outside of Madison, across oceans, about their exchange with one of our sister cities. And they had some 2025 goals coming from a project and collaboration they did around the election. And this is reporter Erin McRory's.
I think that, if there could be like more sister city collaboration, that would be super fun. I think, if there were German scholars that came to the university or came to do presentations, or like German journalists that came over, we had the opportunity to stop by the newsroom in Freiburg. And that was so cool to see kind of, the opposite side of the ocean doing, what we do. So yeah, I would say, more sister city collaboration would be so fun.
Sister. And let's hear what Ruthie learned some things from that trip too that she wants to bring here to Madison.
Well, after being in Freiburg, and then we also visited Amsterdam on the way out, I think that Madison still has a long way to go with bikes and bike friendliness. Even though Madison is rated one of the top bike cities, Freiburg put them to shame. They have these bike garages all over the place, multi-level bike garages. The stairs have a little ramp along them, so you could take your bike up the stairs. It was incredible.
Oh man, their trip sounded so fun. Yeah, so our sister city, Freiburg, Germany, they had this great opportunity to represent us over there and kind of inform them about what was going on here in Madison and Wisconsin as a swing state, because they were genuinely curious. We are quite the curious place, but we love getting ideas from other places. And I feel like our mayor is pretty good at that.
Oh, yeah. She is not only a woman about town, but she is a woman all about the country. She's all about the world. She is definitely out and about trying to learn more about our city and trying to teach other people about Madison. And she came to us with one of her resolutions for our dear city next year, too.
Hi, this is Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway, and my New Year's resolution for the city of Madison is to build more housing and for everyone in Madison to read more books. Happy New Year, Madison. Let's hope 2025 is a great year for us.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hurrah. And yes, on literacy. Love that. Speaking of literacy, we've had so many great writers on the show, including one guest that we had on who also left us a personal resolution tied to the city. Madison Magazine food editor Emma Waldinger. She shared some of her thoughts on what Madison needs in 2025 as well.
I just pray every day for a better grocery store on Monroe Street. I live near Monroe Street, and the only walkable grocery store is Trader Joe's, which in my mind is more of a convenience store. I want a grocery store that has real food at it, produce, ingredients you'd find at a regular grocery store. So I don't have any hopes that that's happening anytime soon, but I have my fingers crossed. That's kind of my pipe dream. I would also think it would be kind of nice to have some more sushi takeout in the area around Monroe Street and Park Street. I would love that. I think it's great to continue to see how well flavors from global cuisines are doing. We've gotten a lot of new American-style restaurants in the last couple of years, and a lot of them have been great, but I just think the more our city includes different kinds of cuisine, the stronger our city becomes and the more of a food destination we become. Because right now, a lot of people drive down to Chicago to get food from different areas of the world they can't get here, but it would be great if they didn't have to.
I love it. It's kind of a spicy take on Trader Joe's too,
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Our next voice is the Chief Diversity Officer overseeing diversity, equity, and inclusion over at True Stage. And she's the host of the Black Oxygen podcast. Angela Russell's 2025 hopes for Madison surround accessibility and inclusivity in our city.
I have 2 wishes for the city of Madison for 2025. First, I would love for us to become an autism certified city. This is a designation that is awarded to cities and communities where their key stakeholders, including healthcare, education, local government, the hospitality industry, and businesses, are all trained better to serve and cater to autistic folks. I think that this would go a long way in making Madison a much more inclusive and accessible community. My second wish list item for the city of Madison is oddly specific, but I would love for this to come true. I would love for there to be a boutique hotel with a nice restaurant in University Research Park. All right, that's all I've got. Have a good year. Bye.
West Side love, and Spectrum love.
We love it.
On the spectrum, neurodiversity.
So specific in so many good ways. I'm obsessed. Like, she's got a vision. And some of these things, I mean, both of them are things that we can execute on, right? Let's make it happen.
It's so true. I'm loving people. This is like talking about Madison and how we can grow. And people want more sushi over on the West Side. And apparently there's wants for a boutique hotel. Okay, come through,
Sure.
come through. You want people to, and people come and visit. You want to show off that side of town. When it comes to raw breakfast sausage, Jones Dairy Farm is the brand. Made with simple ingredients, only pork, salt, and spices, they're clean and have incredible flavor. Their natural casing pork sausage links are snappy, juicy, and so delicious. They love them in an air fryer, making them easy to cook, crispy on the outside, and delectable on the inside. Do yourself a favor and give these a shot. Always made with distinctive quality and unmatched flavor you cannot find anywhere else. Jones, making breakfast better since 1889.
We have one more act for you this evening. I don't even need to say his name. Mr. Bob Dylan.
A Complete Unknown is now a Golden Globe and Critics' Choice nominee for Best Picture.
Bobby, what do you want to be?
Whatever it is they don't want me to be.
Timothée Chalamet astonishes as Bob Dylan in one of the best performances of the year.
Through the bums of dime in your prime.
And critics rave Edward Norton is absolutely fantastic.
70,000 people are here, and Bobby is the reason for it.
This Christmas.
They just want me singing Blowing in the Wind for the rest of my life.
Don't miss the movie critics are hailing 5 stars.
To be on your own.
It's pure cinematic magic.
Turn it down! Play it loud!
And named to AFI and the National Board of Review's top 10 films of the year.
Make some noise, BD. Track some mud on the carpet.
A Complete Unknown. Only in theaters Christmas Day. Rated R. Under 17 and admitted without parent.
We're going to talk a little bit about politics now. I love the very specific wishes there for our city. And our next voice is no stranger to the pod, publisher of Tone Madison, Scott Gordon. And he's got some questions for the city to ponder as we enter the new year and new political landscape.
I find predictions to be a really treacherous thing, and I'm kind of scared of doing them. But I guess if this isn't completely obnoxious, I would respond in the form of sort of a question that I think will be really central for Madison next year, especially with a second Trump administration coming and with all the other challenges that we are facing. I'm very curious / anxious to see how Madison kind of asserts itself in the political landscape. Is there going to be a recommitment to better policy and to, having human values and putting kind of more care into our public institutions and being sort of the insufferable lefty city that people think we are? Or are we going to continue to let the right squash our sense of possibility? So that's, I think, a key question that I think will face us in 2025 and for a long time to come. But everything that's coming for us in 2025 really puts it into a finer perspective.
Scott's questions, yeah, they definitely give us a lot to think about. And, continuing on our theme of politics, Madison 365 reporter Nicholas Garton's resolution has to do with our city council.
I think Madison's New Year's resolution is to have a common council that reflects the values of this city.
Period. Point blank.
Short and sweet. We love it.
Staying in the political realm, we've got Madison Metropolitan School District's Board of Education member and Executive Director of the Wisconsin Abortion Fund, Ali Muldrow, who's got hopes for our Supreme Court in 2025.
What I'm hoping for Madison in 2025 is that we're represented by a Supreme Court that will ensure we have access to reproductive freedom and abortion.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's going to be one that is on everyone's mind, and also kind of comes back to the theme that we've been talking about in terms of community. You know, we've said it before, and one of the biggest themes that we've got here is how we come together as a community to reach these goals. And Dane County District 6 Supervisor Yogesh Chawla has some ideas on how we can do that.
Yogesh Chawla, I'm the Dane County Board Supervisor in District 6 in the Near East Side of Madison. My 2025 New Year's resolutions are to work hard locally to create a community that we can all love and support. What we've seen happening on the federal level is utterly devastating and disappointing, but what we need to do is we need to work on building our community and supporting our friends and neighbors right here in Dane County and Madison. And that includes working towards abundant, affordable housing. That means protecting our unhoused neighbors who are particularly vulnerable when we think about the cold weather that we're having right now. And that means working towards climate change resilience. We have to prevent the effects of the devastating flooding we saw in 2018. We have to continue to reduce phosphorus pollution in our lakes. And most importantly, we have to protect our drinking water against harmful chemicals like PFAS. Now, we know our federal government is going to do nothing to help us out. That's why we need to help each other. And I'm looking to work right here in our community in 2025 and beyond to create a model for what our country can be when neighbors work together, love each other, and work towards common goals. Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And we know that, you know, Yogesh did a lot of work around trying to be able to understand and hold the U.S. military accountable in this area and how they're using PFAS at the airport. And we had that conversation, which was really fantastic. We really appreciate your message, Yogesh. And that's a really common theme, is protecting our waters. Similar to that last message, we have Abdullah, aka Abby, the owner at the Madison Food Mart over on East Johnson and Patterson. He's a community staple. So I just wanted to ask him what he wanted, and he also has hopes for our environment.
Hi, Abdullah, Madison Food Mart. Wish for 2025. Madison, Wisconsin is to have cleaner lakes. Thank you.
No sugarcoating it.
Short and sweet, just like Sabrina Carpenter. We love to see it.
Truly.
And, you know, rounding out our community resolutions is Casey Lucchini Butcher, who you might remember as the director of the Rebecca M. Blank Center for Campus History. She's been on the podcast a couple of times, and her resolution also has to do with the power of community.
I think in light of everything that has happened in the past few weeks, and read election into that, what I'm seeing is that I think more than ever we need community. And the government is not coming to save us. Legislators are not coming to save us. These people don't really care about us and aren't here to help us. And we need to help ourselves. And so I'm personally trying to think about how I can be more involved in my community. So whether that's like joining a local writing group or going to city council meetings, like really thinking about the ways that we as individuals connect to one another, how you connect to your neighbors, how you connect to local businesses and the people who own them. That is my resolution for 2025, as we need people power, because the powers that be are not going to save us. We are going to save us.
The power's in local.
True. The power is in our hands. I think that is everyone's takeaway from this, right? We have the power. We can do it. We can make these resolutions happen.
Yes. And speaking of resolutions, Hayley, do you have any of your own for 2025?
Ooh, I knew this question was coming and I'm still scared to answer it. I think so many of my overarching resolutions also reflect so many of the things that have been said today on the podcast. Really getting ingrained in the community and doubling down and spending time with the folks who I really care about and trying to make inroads in places that I haven't been before. My personal resolution is that in the past couple of weeks, I have started running. So I'm adding runner to the list of the things that I identify as, which is something, if you know me, that I have never, ever, 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 ever done, and in fact have actively avoided. And so I think one thing for me in 2025 is to, kind of help tie in that community and that running thing together. It's just, embracing being a novice and embracing being in new places. So I'm excited to get out and explore Madison's neighborhoods in a way that I haven't done in the past. So I'm excited. If you see me out there running, be nice, because it'll probably look like walking.
That makes me want to shout out Ava Wynowski, our former runner in residence. But I know a lot of the people who left messages are runners as well. And I love that. I kind of share that with you. I'm in, I'm out. I've been asked to do a marathon with a friend, and I'm definitely trying to be more active for sure.
Yeah, Ava is an inspiration. Shout out to Ava, our former interim newsletter editor. And yeah, I don't know, Bianca, what are your resolutions for 2025?
Yeah, for Madison in specific and how I show up there and how other people show up here is honesty and accountability. I think, one of the catch-22s of being a Midwesterner in a Midwest city is sometimes folks are just not honest with each other about their needs. And I think, about people who aren't really, don't know how to express their needs or that sort of things. Like, the thing about humans is, we're going to get our needs met, and we're going to try to get our needs met. So to do it in the most ethical way, being forthcoming, being honest and transparent, I think that's so huge. It's so huge for building trust. And we're such a small city. So building trust with one another is critical. So I really hope for that honesty and accountability. When you make mistakes, own up to them, and hopefully everyone's here for that. Also, just thinking about community, I just want to echo what so many people have said, anchoring community. Man, I mean, we know our economic system incentivizes us staying at home and being alone and just focusing on our well-being and our needs. But when you do that, it's like we're not happy here with that. Greed and, incentivizing personal accumulation, retire with all of these goodies that, you can barely even use, maybe with a bunch of stuff you don't need. And then you've spent 20 years not in the present moment. I want to personally spend more time in the present moment and also share my wealth in all of its various forms, less financially once I get there, but to just be in the community more. I think that's so valuable. And my last one that I hope for Madison is a disco roller rink that's constantly full of dancing. That's my pie in the sky.
Yes. Let's bring back roller rink disco. Make it happen. But I'm also so with you on sharing the wealth, because whether that be time, money, resources, we all have something that we can share. And that's what makes our community so strong and so valuable. And so I hope, we're all talking the talk at the end of 2024. And I hope in 2025 that we're all walking the walk, or jogging the jog, or
running the run. And of course, we couldn't leave out our own Rob Thomas.
My New Year's resolution has to do with attention. First of all, when I'm out somewhere or watching a movie at home or reading a book, I want to make sure the phone is away, that I'm not second screening, that I'm present where I am. And secondly, I want to watch my attention to people online, to doomsayers, to conspiracy theorists, to speculators who are trying to get attention, focus less on that and more on my community and what's actually going on here around me, and looking for ways to help. So that is what I'm focusing on. So happy 2025.
All right, he's got the last word. We're definitely excited to bring you more content of our great city, and that's one of our resolutions. Keep bringing you the goods.
This has been great. Thanks, Bianca.
Thanks, Hayley. That's me and Hayley Sperling, our executive producer, rounding up your resolutions for Madison in 2025. And while you were listening, did we miss one that you wanted to share? What are your hopes for Madison? Leave us a voicemail at 608-318-3367 or email us at madison@citycast.fm. That's all for today, here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. If you enjoyed the show, why not share this episode with someone who loves Madison and wants to see it grow? We'll be back tomorrow morning with more stories from around the city. Until then, dream on.